You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
What's up? It's Noah Taborda here on Full Court Press, Episode 5, The Return. You know, it's been about 4 weeks, a month since our last show. And I am here with co-host Jake Liker. I believe this is his first appearance on this show. So how you doing, Jake?
I'm good, and I hope this hashtag The Return is better than Derrick Rose's.
Yeah, and of course we actually are going to talk about Derrick Rose, who is in The Return Part 2. So it's actually, there was probably about 5 parts in the first one, so it's The Return Part 6. And then, of course, later on this month, they'll probably return Part 7. But lots of returns happening, especially Rajon Rondo, Kobe Bryant back, and Dennis Rodman returning to North Korea. So lots of stuff to talk about. And we are going to kick it off with a little discussion about Rajon Rondo, because he's been out for a while, and of course lots of stories revolved around him during the preseason. And he has just returned to practice, and he has been cleared for full contact, and hopefully will be back around next month. And Jake, is this a good sign for the Celtics, or are they still going to be headed in the same direction?
Well, the direction they're headed now is actually pretty good. Listen, I know their record is not great, but it's good enough in the Eastern Conference. I believe right now that they've got a 3rd seed, 4th seed, because of that they are winning a terrible division. Once Rondo comes back, the Eastern Conference, might actually get a little more respect. They talked to Brad Stevens about this. ESPN asked him, how did Rondo look in his first practice back? I'm quoting this from the article, quote, pretty good, Stevens said with a sly smile. Not sure why ESPN made Brad Stevens sound like a stereotypical Disney villain with his sly smiles and whatnot. But, I think it's all smiles in Boston when Rajon Rondo returns. I think he's always been a pretty underrated player, and this is great news for Boston.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And 11-14 is the record. And so that, we're going to talk about the East's mediocrity at best later on in the show. But 11-14 and being a 4th seed, that's not exactly good. They are not playing at the level they want to be playing, obviously. They are considered actually one of the better teams in the East right now. But, of course, they want to be playing at a level where they'll get respect not only for being a 4th seed in the East, but being a potential championship contender. And Rondo will help push them back that way. Of course, they still have a long way to go, but Rajon Rondo has been very talented. They do have to make sure that Brad Stevens gets off on the right foot with him, because as you know, Rondo, he's not the greatest team player, as we've heard, gets in arguments with a lot of people, but I think that he's going to come back with a little more of a desire to be a better player, be a better person in the locker room, because he has to be a leader in order for him to help this team get back on the right track. Next up, we just said the return, so now we're going to talk about D. Rose and Pat Riley. So Pat Riley, he said that, these injuries are going to make Derrick Rose stronger and better. Of course, a lot of people said I think he's going to get better. He said, I think Derrick Rose will overcome this. It's really tragic. It really is for him, for the game and for competition and what the game is all about. And Jake, do you think that he will come back better, or do you think this is just the start of a downhill slide for him?
Wait, Noah, over under at 7 days. How long until we find out that Pat Riley is secretly working for Adidas?
I'm going to go over. I'm going to say 8.5 days.
8.5 days. The countdown is on. Listen, I appreciate the optimism, and I appreciate that someone on the Heat far. Now, if someone's drunk and walks into a train track and gets hit by a train, how much stronger will they really be? I appreciate the optimism. I am hoping that Pat Riley is right. I'm not going to sit here and doubt him because of the experience he has had. However, I am a little hesitant to believe that this is going to make him even stronger.
Yeah. Return from the meniscus. So how can you return better? He was just starting to find a rhythm, and it's taken him so long to find a rhythm. So he's lost basically 5 years. He's going to lose around 5 years of his career.
Yeah.
So just to an injury. So I don't know about that.
The way that I think that this is going to be better for them is that the motivation that this will give Derrick Rose. I don't think you're going to see at least once when Kobe leaves, we're not going to see anybody on the court play with the passion that Derrick Rose does. So he's going to have a mental advantage. He's going to have the will to win that other teams might not have because of these hardships and experiences. So in a way, it could be a positive, but I think he'd much rather be playing on the court right now.
Yeah, I agree. If I was a basketball player, if I had a decision between motivation from injury or playing on the court, I think I would choose playing on the court. But he is a phenomenal player, and he has the desire to play. So he obviously has the potential to come back stronger. And I think something that happened, because of the return that Adrian Peterson had, people are starting to think that coming back from injuries is an easy thing. And though I applaud Adrian Peterson, it kind of irritates me that, now suddenly he is having all of these people think that he's going to come back stronger. Same with Kobe Bryant. Same with a lot of these players. They think, well, you're coming back from an injury. Why can't you play like Adrian Peterson? And now we're going to move on to more returns. This is Rodman returning to North Korea. And this is a story that's really it's kind of a funny story. It's not that serious, but the serious part of it is he was completely unfazed by the fact that Kim Jong-un had just executed his uncle. So it's just ridiculous that he executed his uncle. And then Dennis Rodman's like, you know what? Whatever. We're just gonna let him come back, and I'm just gonna go to that country and I'm gonna coach their team. No biggie. Kim Jong-un's my best friend. I trust him in executing his uncle.
Okay, listen, Dennis Rodman, you cannot give a North Korean dictator some pistachios and expect that it's all going to be okay. I understand that you're in a wonderful sponsorship, but not everything is wonderful. Like, what? How much farther is he going to say? Like, at least he didn't take out my piercings and kill him one by one by impaling him. Listen, Dennis, I appreciate that you're trying to be an ambassador, but I think it really shows the state of relations between us and the rest of the world in North Korea when Dennis Rodman is the America's ambassador to North Korea. And I'm starting to think that he's North Korean if he's not fazed by this. Although then again, he's not fazed by many things.
This is what he had to say. Yes, I'm going to North Korea to train the basketball team. I'm going to bring American players over there. Yes, I am. I'm going to be the most famous person in the world when you see American people holding hands and hoping the doors can be opened. If they can. If they can. If they can. I'm going. I'm going back for his birthday. Special. I can't follow his train of thought. His train of thought kind of just goes from point to point. I'm going back for the national team. Birthdays. Opening doors. Just way over. All over the place.
It's time to saddle up the Rio Grande Valley Vipers because I think we know who's going to have to go to North Korea.
In case you guys don't know who the Rio Grande Valley Vipers are, they are a very talented D-League team. And very talented in the D-League means good enough to be in the D-League, but not even close to being in the NBA. And also, if they go over to North Korea, they'll still be considerably better than everybody in North Korea, considering the majority of the people in North Korea are Kim Jong-un height.
And, they probably haven't heard of basketball.
They'll look at the ball and they'll just they'll try to open it. They'll see what's in there. They're not really sure what it is or where it goes, but they know that this guy is there to teach them how to play basketball or other things that are just not related to basketball.
Because of their lack of exposure to Americans, I'm worried that North Koreans will think that all Americans are exactly like Dennis Rodman. Because that is a scary... A nation of Dennis Rodman... it makes sense now. North Korea, I understand their rationale. I would be terrified of a nation of Dennis Rodmans. I would not want to mess with that nation. Stay away.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So, obviously, North Korea doesn't have a large population of African Americans or Africans of any kind, blacks, anything related to that skin color. But because Dennis Rodman is going there, I'm gonna say that within 5 years there will be a large population of black children playing basketball there. Yeah.
Oh, really? You think he's gonna do that in North Korea?
I think he will. I don't think he's gonna be able to tell the difference. I think he's starting to lose his mind. I think he's just gonna get confused between Americans and North Koreans, and eventually, it's black. It's how would we combine that? Black Asians, Black Asians,
I believe the term was is Blasian, but to be honest, I mean, first of all, starting to go crazy.
I mean, not to say he wasn't already.
Him starting to go crazy. Where does the crazy train end? In the words of
Where do we draw the line in the sand?
All aboard. If this is the beginning of the Dennis Rodman crazy train, who knows until we are all slaves of the Rodman Principality of North Korea.
Well, Jake, I've just been handed some tragic news. The Rio Grande Valley Vipers lost to the Texas Legends last night, 125 to 116, led by a 43-point effort by former West Virginia player Devin Ebanks.
Oh, how the mighty fall from grace.
But seriously, Devin Ebanks put up 43 points. This guy was amazing on West Virginia. Then he went into the Lakers, and then everyone was like, oh, wait, no, he's really not that good.
He was really, you see, if Robert Sacre wasn't such a good cheerleader, he would be on the team right now.
Okay. I kind of disagree. I think Sacre is actually decent.
He's a great cheerleader. The motivation, again, he has done a better job of motivating this team than 2 torn meniscus injuries.
Also, guys, don't forget tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern to check out the Delaware 87ers versus the Iowa Energy. Yes, the 87ers. Possibly that's a bad name. How uncreative can you get? At least the other teams actually thought of something. Austin Toros isn't the same as the Spurs, the Jam, the Charge, but the 87ers, that is what? If there's the 76ers, that's what, 11 off? They decided to put up 11 numbers?
Okay, I just got a great idea. We need a petition for the Chicago Bulls to rename themselves the Chicago 23ers. Their mascot will be Miley Cyrus, and instead of tickets, you could only be allowed admission with a foam finger.
Oh my god.
And free fake blue contacts for everybody if the 23ers win and hold their opponents to under 100 points.
No Big Macs. I'm sure fans will be a little upset about that, the Big Mac. Actually, if you when you go to the Bulls game, once it gets up by 100, they don't, even if they're losing, or even if they're losing, if they're just losing by a bit, they're no longer cheering for a win. They're cheering for the Big Mac. That just shows you how much we love our team. Big Mac, instead of chants for MVP when Derrick Rose goes to the line. Okay, so now that we've had an extensive coverage on Dennis Rodman being unfazed by Kim Jong-un and his craziness, we're going to move on to our next story, and this is the showdown between Jim Brown and Kobe Bryant. Yes, they are having a little...
Sacramento and the Boozer and Orange and both good guys, both very respectable people.